most of my MMI stations went really well, and I was really happy with the preparation that I'd done, and it just felt like everything came together, and I was like, I've smashed it, you know? The main messages from this video is to have confidence, to be really prepared, but definitely not to like just memorize things. You need to be like energetic and kind of have the enthusiasm to show that you're ready. Like, you should be energizing the interviewer, you know? Just prepare, read your books, get really used to being uncomfortable again. Don't worry if you have online interviews. With preparation, you can do really well. Easier because you won't have the pressure of other people. Probably won't notice their like mean demeanor as much. Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an interview experience and basically talking about what happened when I had my interview for medical school. And this is at Aston Medical School in Birmingham. So, you know, it all began in one Christmas day, you know, and I was just like, oh, what should I do? Like, what, you know, it's kind of crazy. And my friends were hyping me so much about it. And, you know, I was just ready. One of the best things you can do is just practice conversations and having professional conversations about medicine, conversations about yourself, your personal statement, your work, and like just start talking to anyone about it, because that's what you're going to be doing in the interview, where you can sell yourself in a confident manner but not arrogant or coming off in a bad way. So yeah, it's really important to just kind of finesse your confidence and the way that you speak. I did an EPQ on medical research ethics, and I feel like that definitely helped me. I intentionally did a really focused EPQ which I knew would help me with my view of medicine, and it definitely did. From doing that EPQ, I ended up going to lots of talks, lectures, reading things online, reading articles, publications, TED Talks, like everything. So just consuming as much medical jargon and articles and information is really important. Get in the mindset of the interviewer. Say you've heard of people, they've had like all of their interviews and they ended up getting like no offers because they flopped, and like with MMI, it's like, you know, it could be lots of different things. You have to switch up. 1 second you're doing that, 1 second you're doing this. So yeah, people have struggled. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. My preparation was more knowledge already, so it wasn't as intense as it might be if you were just starting from like November or whatever. But yeah, I felt really confident going in. My friend gave me his book which had like loads of medical questions in, and I literally went through it. Just like flicked through it when I was on the bus. I would go through it, and then if there was something that I didn't really think of an answer that was that similar, I'd make notes on it, and I made like this really big master document. And I feel like that definitely helps, because it really helps you to see the thought process of what you should be thinking or what the best way to think is. I definitely recommend reading as much articles on interview questions as you can, because at the end of the day there's only a certain amount of things that they can do, and by reading all of those things you kind of get the thought process that they use to get the questions. So would definitely recommend reading as much as you can, talking to people, feeling natural, So for my interview experience, I was kind of shook, not gonna lie. So I literally chose the latest date that was given like from the time slots. And yeah, I feel like that was better, because there was literally no information about what would happen, like your ID, bring your ID, bring this, bring that, do you need your passport, do you need like your driving license. Like, it was not really well known. So I think, you know, there's not really a rush in life, and I don't think it makes much of a difference to be first or last, whatever. So yeah, I just chose the latest date, and then also that gave me time to like ask family if I could, like, well, obviously they let me, but like gave me more time to organize everything, traveling there, staying at my auntie's house. I was like, oh gosh, what do I wear? And you know, I have like patterned blouses and lots of, I love a good blouse, you know what I mean, but I didn't know how formal I should be, and I didn't really want to come off as overly fashionable. It should be kind of about your mind and not your looks, whatever. So yeah, I have like loads of checkered blazers and like fancier clothes I'd wear to like church and stuff, but brought with me like a blue blouse, a checkered blouse, and then I literally went and bought like a new fresh blouse which was great, loads of options. It was quite stressful, like driving at night, because we drove quite late, which was quite odd. My dad was like, oh yeah, we'll just go in the morning, we'll just drive in the morning. And I was like, are you sure about that? Because I don't want to be late. So then the morning of the interview, I was shook. I literally like had no appetite at all, but I knew that it would be like a really, really long day. So I was like trying to just eat, and then we ended up going to McDonald's, and then it was crazy. Like the car started doing, it started. My dad ended up like buying this homeless man food as well. So it kind of, we weren't as fast as I would have hoped. But yeah, I ended up just wearing the plain blouse and then trousers. I originally had like my grey blazer, and I was like, I don't know if this is too like fancy. I guess it's not really that deep, but like when I got in, I was glad that I actually wore the black one, because every single person was wearing like black ones. Like people had waistcoats. I think it's definitely better to be more formal than like more casual. If you're choosing between casual and like really formal, I'd say go with formal. It's better to be like overdressed than underdressed. And then I had some new shoes. Oh my gosh, that was an issue. Those were an issue. I was gonna wear my Doc Martens, but like they're vintage, so they're kind of like not the most robust looking. So my mum was like, you can't wear those. So then she bought me some like flats, and let's say those were not broken in, and my feet were killing me. Literally like had a scar on my foot like for weeks after that. Like there was no words, and like when I was walking home, I literally took them off in the car and was like walking around in socks. Like when it was just not it. It was terrible. So maybe I should have worn the shoes that I was gonna wear before, because there was quite a lot of walking and going upstairs and left and right and up and down and tours of the university and stuff. But yeah, it was crazy. Bench type things. So that's where people's like parents sat, and then everyone was just standing there like. And then I just walk in there like, not the acting, but anyway, everyone was like so intensely serious. Everyone was just ready to fight, and I was just like, this is not it. I was feeling very intimidated. Like there was loads of the typical person that you would assume to get in, you know. So yeah, there were a lot of people that were just like ready to rumble, you know, and I was like, am I ready to rumble? And then yeah, we ended up getting there like not too late, not too early, so I literally just like got my earphones in and was listening to calming music, because I didn't want to engage with the situation around me. So like everyone was standing over there, and I was literally like standing by myself, because I was like, this is not it. And then eventually from the reception we were taken into a different like area, and then we all like actually sat down, and then they started taking people's identity. You had to sign a non-disclosure form and show your identity and have your photo taken and stuff, and you were given a name through that alphabet. So that was kind of taking a while. So that's when it kind of started, the actual interview talk, where everyone's together, just like them, not their parents. So then I was like, this is the time to be the one to start the conversation, you know. So there was this nice girl, and she was just saying how, you know, everyone was surprised to hear that I'd like stayed somewhere else overnight, and that, you know, my dad had driven me and all of that. So that wasn't it. And then after that, everyone started talking about like, oh, where have you applied, what were your predicted grades, what was your UCAT, what were your GCSEs, what were your A-levels? And it was like, I'm not here for this. I am not here for this. How are you feeling about the interview? Like just like being kind and amicable, because it kind of warms you up to the actual event. And because you'll be in an MMI, it's like you kind of see everyone in the corridor and stuff. You have to like sit together and get water. You might have to do a group project at the end, whatever. So I think it's really, really important to just try and warm yourself up, be personable, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to be interacting with strangers for like the next like 3 hours, and pretending that you're like a doctor, a medical student, whatever you have to be in the scenario. Why not pretend that you're this confident person that can talk to anyone, make them feel comfortable, make yourself feel comfortable, and just start the day on a good standing. So that ended up going well. It's medicine, so everyone is like really competitive and clever, etc, etc. It was MMIs, there was loads of stations, and obviously I am not about to give out information because I signed the non-disclosure form and all that. So Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, all the interview prep that you've done is literally like what it is, and the interview is literally like reading a question and then like kind of expanding a bit on that. So sometimes if you answer a question like before the time is up, or they finish reading all of their questions, then I could hear when everyone else was just like sat there silently and everyone like looking at each other really awkwardly. We say to try and keep the energy flowing and don't let it just fade off once their questions ended, and definitely try to expand on different things because they're like scoring you. You can see them writing things and it's kind of like psyching you out a bit. So definitely try to talk about your personal statement, things that they wouldn't know just from being an MMI person. Maybe sometimes even over explain, like if you're with an actor or something, really like emphasize your points. Like, you know, driving lessons, you wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm looking out the window, you'd be like, I am looking out the window, you know what I mean? So yeah, you need to be kind of more animated so that they can really notice what you're doing and just kind of get your vibe. One of the things I'd really emphasize is not to be thrown off by their face or like the way they're acting, because maybe they were told to be like more harsh, or like, you know, I guess it's been a long week of them asking the same questions for hours and hours and hours, different people saying very similar things, and like, you know, everyone's read like the same books, medical ethics, da da da. If you get an interviewer who is like really dry, try not to be really affected by that, and remember that like each MMI is separate, so we actually move, and just try to stay optimistic. Like once you have to go out, you know, you have like a minute to read the paper or whatever, so kind of just take that time to breathe and like relax and put your mind into gear to remember all the things that you've learned, and just so that you're ready to apply them in the best way. So for me, most of my MMI stations went really well, and I was really happy with the preparation that I'd done, and it just felt like everything came together, and I was like, I've smashed it, you know. Though one of the stations I like really was not expecting, so that really threw me off. I was like, how's that like ruined everything? But at the end of the day, they are all like equally weighted or just like separately weighted. It doesn't really matter if you like do really badly in one, because it can balance out if you meet the threshold. So yeah, after that we left, and like we went past where we were logged in and whatever, and we just saw like a whole nother group of people being interviewed. I'm not gonna lie, that was quite stressful, just knowing that like all of these people are also fighting for the same places, but you know, it's fine, it's done. And then after that, Aston is like really close to Birmingham city centre, and though my feet were like dying, I went there, and it's just crazy thinking how it was like before this pandemic and things were free. Like the shops were packed, the Bullring was packed, and like I went on the bus home to my great aunts and went home, and it was just like, wow, like that was it, you know. The main messages from this video is to have confidence, to be really prepared, but definitely not to like just memorize things. You need to be like energetic and kind of have the enthusiasm to show that you're ready. Like you should be energizing the interviewer, you know. Try to really get like anecdotal things that actually show, not tell. Like we should be showing, not just telling. With preparation you could do really well, and with it being on Zoom, I feel like that will be like really like easier, because you won't have the pressure of other people, you won't have to walk around, you probably won't notice their like mean demeanor as much. Don't worry if you have online interviews, just prepare, read your books, watch your YouTube tutorials. I definitely say try and get mock tutorials online with like Melanin Medics and things like that. Also, Ollie Burton does them. Talk to your family, talk to like strangers about what you're doing, and just like get really used to being uncomfortable, I guess. Talking about really like medical weird things, and like, you know, acting with an actor. Like have these frameworks in your mind, like how do I break bad news, like all of that. So yeah. So that has been my video. I hope it's been really helpful to you all, and don't worry, it will all go well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!